Is Stu Macher alive? This has been a huge topic of discussion since Scream 5 was announced. If you want to go further back, it's been talked about since Scream 3. But with the release of Scream 7 finally coming out this month, Matthew Lillard guaranteed to be in this movie in some form or fashion. I think it's finally time to make a video talking about this, talking about all the possibilities with you guys. So let's get into it. The way I look at it, I see there's only a limited number of options the way you can bring Stu back. I'm going to list them out and then we'll talk about them one by one and what I think is most likely and least likely. Number 1. He's used in weird-ass flashbacks. Now this would make sense considering Scott Foley is also back as Roman Bridgers. You could do some weird thing where you show how Roman manipulated them, or who was manipulating Roman Bridgers, because we don't know how this is going to go. To be honest, I have no fucking clue, but I bet it's one of these 4 options. It could be flashbacks to, like I said, before the first movie or during. Number 2. He is a ghost, and I don't mean a real ghost. I mean like a mental ghost like Billy was in Scream 5 and 6. Now this does seem like an obvious choice, although I don't think it's a choice Kevin Williamson would make. I think before he would do that, he would put Stu in a dream, which I will also include in this section, like a ghost or a dream or a vision, a hallucination, you know. This is a very likely option in some aspects, but also a double-edged sword, because if you do this, people are going to be disappointed that he's not Ghostface, that he's not actually alive. And then if you actually bring him back to life and make him Ghostface, there's still going to be people mad. You're still retconning potentially 6 films, and there's just a lot of mixed feelings there. Number 3, his voice is used to trick us, using AI. Now I think there's a couple ways this could go. I think this movie could be trying to trick us into thinking that Stu is obviously the killer, going so far as to not only using AI voice like I expect to be in this movie, simply because it's going to be referencing the 3rd movie. Those voice changers they use in the 3rd movie actually make sense in the modern era. Somebody could come up with something like that now. That technology exists. When Scream 3 came out, it did not. That was kind of laughable, ridiculous. But now, that's a very interesting concept to explore, especially when you're on the 3rd of your new set of Scream movies. And like I said, they're bringing back Stu and Roman. Lots of interesting things to consider, because a lot of people forget that Roman, in the 3rd movie, reveals that he was the one who motivated Billy and Stu to commit those murders in the first place. Therefore, kind of retconning the first movie a little bit. And number 4, he's alive. This would make a lot of people happy. There are so many people out there who think he's alive and that want him to be alive. I don't know if I fit into either of those camps, but let's delve into all of these a little bit further. Number 1, he's used in weird flashbacks, okay? To be honest, I don't see this being a real option. If it is, I would accept it and kind of just move on. If they did it well enough, like the flashbacks in the Halloween Kills and Ends, I think it was Kills that had those 70s flashbacks from Halloween and Halloween 2 and stuff, that weren't actually scenes from those movies, but they fit in. Those were done really well, in my opinion. So if it's something like that, I could see it working. However, I don't see it being likely. And do I want it? I wouldn't say I do. Number 2, I said that he could be a ghost like Billy was, or a hallucination, or a dream. This, I kind of don't see happening, just because Kevin Williamson doesn't seem like the type to really keep going with that hallucination thing that they did in 5 and 6. I just don't think that's going to come back into play. A dream, that's definitely more likely, as Sydney's had dreams of her dead mother and stuff before, so why not? If Stu's in her dreams taunting her about this, that's something I could believe. I think it's a little more likely than the flashbacks. Still not the most likely option, though. The 3rd option, the voice AI thing. So we are definitely going to hear Stu over the phone at some point, either talking to Sydney or Gail, most likely Sydney, let's be honest. Whether it's actually Stu or not, I don't know. That's where this AI thing comes into play. And I could see the movie completely tricking us with this and not having him be the killer, but having it seem like he's the killer throughout the entire thing by using his voice. Maybe we don't even know that there's a voice changer being used other than the one that's obvious that makes him sound like Ghostface. And the last option, he's alive. So let's break this down. He was stabbed and he had the TV dropped on him, right? Sure, he could survive that. I could see that argument being made. That's not the argument that I would have against his death. It would be that none of these characters know he's alive, not a single one of them. Nobody's talked about this before, so he has to be secretly alive out of these characters' knowledge. And I feel like there's a easy way you could just write that in for sure, unfortunately, but that's one way you'd have to handle it. Because the Scream franchise isn't about to make characters undead. But I don't think it's above retconning all of this and making Stu alive. Now, do I think that's what's going to happen? No, I don't necessarily. I don't know what is most likely. That's what's so weird about this Matthew Lillard casting. Because it's like, as I said before, damned if they do, damned if they don't, you know? If Matthew Lillard is Ghostface in this, you both fucked up and pleased the fandom. And if he's not Ghostface, you both fucked up and you pleased the fandom. I guess either way, same result, so we'll fucking just have to see what they're gonna give us, I guess. And I do have to say here, I love Matthew Lillard. One of my favorite actors. When Tarantino said that shit, I wanted to slap him. Scream, SLC Punk, Hackers, Scooby-Doo, man. Twin Peaks The Return? Are you kidding me? This guy is a legend, so I will absolutely take him back in any role or capacity in these films. If it was any other actor, maybe I would feel differently too, but if they actually make him return as Stu, you know, a part of me is excited for that, and part of me hates it. I hate it for the realism of Scream that they've created. Now, however, these movies are still ridiculous. Until 5 and 6, the tone had been pretty consistent, I thought. Some movies were a little wackier than others, but 5 and 6 introduced that whole, like, hallucination ghost element thing. That really fucked with me for a minute. I settled on it later, and I still like those movies, but you guys, I'm having anxiety about this, which is ridiculous. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments down below. Do you think any of my options are right? Do you think there's more options? These are just what I think are, like, from a filmmaking standpoint, this is all you got, man. These 4 options are what you have to work with. If you go with something else, it better be fucking brilliant, you know? Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more ectoviolence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.